So we're going to talk a little bit about in this last video packing for the trip. It seems to be a big topic, especially since we have a lot of young ladies going with us. Packing is an important thing to a lot of them, and guys too. So if you're a guy, you need to pay attention too, because this is important stuff here. I'm going to talk a little bit about clothing basics. Naturally, it's wintertime over there, and we are in Central Europe, up near the Alps and in the Alps at some point. So it's going to be pretty chilly, okay, to say the least. You're going to want to have at least one pair of good walking or comfortable shoes. If you go buy some shoes for this tour, I would buy it at least 3 or 4 weeks in advance so that you can break them in. We're going to do a lot of walking. When we went to Italy last year, we did probably 8 miles a day easily in walking. So there's a lot of walking around. You want comfortable shoes. If you can, I like to bring like walking and hiking shoes that are kind of got a good rubber sole to them, a heavy-duty rubber sole that are waterproof, maybe Gore-Tex kind of thing. You want to have some sort of rainproof winter coat, one that you're not going to mind getting wet, and that can keep the water off of you if possible. You know what? I believe in wearing, just bringing a few pairs of pants for the most part, unless you get them soiled somehow or spill something on them. No one's going to know that you wore jeans a couple of days in a row. Maybe another pair of nicer trousers or pants for going out if you'd like. Belt. I believe that wool socks do the best. They keep you dry, and they provide a lot of really good warmth to your feet. You don't want your feet to get cold while we're out and about. Make sure you've got nice undergarments that dry quickly, because it can get really damp. I mean, if it snows and stuff, or you fall down or something like that, you don't want to be uncomfortable at all. Several shirts, and here's the key. The key is to layer. That's what it is. The key is to layer. If we're on the bus, we've got a lot of people. Some people are going to think it's hot, some people are going to think it's cold. You go into a museum and they got the furnace way up and it's really hot. You go into a cafe and they got the windows open and it's cold. You want to be able to wear layered clothing so that if you are hot, you can take something off. If you are cold, you can put something back on. So wear layers. Don't go out with with just one layer of clothing on. Make sure you've got multiples there. Always, always, always bring a nice knit hat. Most of us lose our body warmth through our heads, believe it or not, and so you want a nice warm knit hat and a good scarf and some good gloves. I don't believe in wearing leather gloves over there. I believe in wearing cloth gloves, some woolly gloves, those kinds of things. Mittens aren't that practical for me, but wear what you'd like to. Some PJs and probably a watch, because what if the battery on your cell phone goes down and you haven't had a chance to recharge it? So having a little cheapy watch in your pocket helps you stay on time as well. In terms of toiletries, a couple of things that you want to be mindful of is that most European hotels do not supply washcloths. They don't. You're going to need to bring your own washcloth. So that means you need to dry it out and all that kind of stuff. And I believe in bringing Ziploc bags all the time. I mean, that's the way I always carry things. Keeps things clean, keeps wet stuff from getting dry stuff wet, and so on and so forth. So body soap or puff, washcloth. Go to the Walmart or Target near you and look for the travel size toiletries. The travel size, these are usually 50 cents to $1 for the small teeny tiny toothpaste and the small teeny tiny deodorant and the small teeny tiny mouthwash and that kind of stuff. Because there's no sense lugging around a Sam's Club size tube of toothpaste. There's no point in that. You're just carrying extra weight. And it's light, it's easy. You're not going to use up, you're not going to use up, if you think you're going to use more than one, buy more than one. It's better than buying a big giant tube of something, okay? The shampoo and conditioner, buy the small amounts if you can, and then you're getting rid of them as you use them up along the way. It's not a big deal. Some hand lotion it gets pretty windy, and so if you have dry skin, a razor, gotta pack it in the checked bag, not in the carry-on, right? Any prescription medications that you have, you do want to bring the original container, and you do want to make sure that your doctor's name and the type of medication is on the outside. It's not a bad idea to write down the generic name, because if you lost it or you spilled something or something like that and you had to get it refilled over there, that's not a big issue. but if you have the generic name, it's going to be easier to fill that prescription if you needed to refill. We carry with us on tour a couple of first aid kits that have just some basic things: Band-Aids, some antiseptic ointment, some motion sickness stuff, a few analgesics for headaches and things, some cold pills and things like that, lozenges and stuff. Really, those bags are for after hours or when we're on the bus, when we haven't got convenient time to stop and you're feeling kind of icky and you don't have anything yourself, and we're happy to give that to you. So you come see one of us, you'll always know who has the bag because we'll announce it, and you want to let us know what we can help you with, and we'll do that. Pepto-Bismol, stuff like that for upset stomach. But really, we don't have enough to kind of like medicate the entire tour group. So it's really just, hey, I woke up and I've got a bad headache. Do you have an aspirin? I didn't bring one. Yep, we'll help you out. We'll help you out because we don't want you to have to go out and go find a pharmacy when we're not near one right then. Okay, so we'll help you with those kinds of things. Feminine hygiene products, deodorant, all those kinds. This is kind of a list of the things that you need: nail clippers, files, tweezers. If you want to pack these in your suitcase, be sure you do that. Spare glasses. I've gotten in a habit now that I bring a spare pair of glasses, because if I'm on tour and something happens to my glasses, I don't want to miss seeing the rest of it. So I just bring the old pair with me and tuck them in the old suitcase. And an eyeglasses repair kit's not a bad idea too. Some hand sanitizer, not a bad idea, because there are a lot of colds going around. One of the things I want you to do is, before you go on tour, you're going to hear me talk about this a lot. All it takes is a couple of people who have the flu, and it'll go through our group like a wildfire. So I want everybody to pay special attention in December. Stay healthy. I want you to stay healthy because I want you to be healthy. I want you to enjoy yourself. But stay healthy, stay hydrated, eat right, get good sleep each night, and practice good sort of hand hygiene so that you don't pick up a cold from somebody, because you're going to be miserable if you spend all this time and all this effort and you've saved up and you've gone and then you bring over there some terrible cold that you got from some from Aunt Agnes at the old family reunion there. Okay, so be very careful about it. Maybe some vitamins, keep you on your toes, some over-the-counter stuff. Bring your own Dramamine if you can, if that's what you use for motion sickness. We're going to be up in the mountains in a bus, okay, and on airplanes, so bring your own if you can. But if you end up losing yours or falling short, we'll have a couple of Dramamines to help you with. Moist wipes, tissues, cosmetics, all of those sorts of things. That just kind of a running list here. A note about curling irons and straighteners. This gets its own slide because it's legendary. I don't use a curling iron or a straightener, as you can see by my bald head. However, I am very familiar with the fact that young women frequently come over to Europe with hair products that are basically atomic powered. They don't always work in Europe, hair curling irons and things. They're heavy and bulky. If you have to have one, you should probably consider teaming up with a buddy. 4 or 5 of you can use the same one easily without too much difficulty. At least 2 or 3 of you can team up with them. What we want to do is reduce the overall weight of the luggage of the group is what we need to do. We really need to make sure that we're very conscious of that. So if you think, if everybody brings their own curling iron or hair straightener, well, then that's an awful lot of weight. It adds up. So consider sharing that sort of thing. Hair dryers are sometimes supplied by the hotel, sometimes not. Consider sharing one of those. And by the way, you just can't bring one of the high-powered American hair dryers. I mean, we live in Texas, big hairdos, big hair dryers. They cannot handle that in Europe. You will literally blow the circuit out of the hotel electrical system. I'm not joking. We've done it before. We've had to get up in the middle of the night and replace a blown fuse because of somebody's, leaf blower sized hair. They cannot handle that. A lot of these buildings are a little older and they've been rewired and they were built even before electricity. They do not have the capacity. Okay, try to use the hotels if you can. If you're going to bring a hair dryer, share it with somebody else and make sure it's not overpowered. Okay, some money and security thing. I talked in the last video about making sure you get a good quality money belt or neck wallet. I got a little bit of a belly as a middle-aged man. The money belt
don't use it very often, but the neck wallet I do use. If somebody's going to reach down your shirt or try to get underneath your belt, you're going to notice it, okay? So that's why these work so very, very well. Your passport, your camera, those kinds of things, these are all the valuables that you're going to need to carry around with you from time to time, and they need to be secured, right? Debit card, credit card, some cash, a calling card if you use that. You're going to need to make a copy of the tour itinerary, which includes our hotels and everything. You want to make a copy of your driver's license, your passport. These should be color copies, by the way. Debit card, credit card, all of that. And you want to keep all that naturally separate from the actual items themselves, because if you lose the items, it's going to be a lot easier to replace those. But you want to get, if you haven't gotten your passport photos yet, go to a place like CVS or Walgreens to get them made, because they'll give you extra copies of the photo. If you have to replace a passport, it's so much easier if you have a color copy of your passport and a spare passport photo. They can do it so much faster that way. So make sure that you keep those maybe in your checked bag, and you keep the original credit cards and things in your neck wallet. That's important to do. Emergency contact card. Everybody's going to get one that tells you where to go and what to do if there's an emergency on tour. And then contact information for your credit or debit card company. It's nothing worse than you got your credit card stolen, and guess what? The 800 number to contact the card company in case it's stolen is on the back of the card, right? So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that if your card were stolen, you still know how to get a hold of your bank or your credit card company by phone over there, even if you don't have a copy of it. All those things. And I think you really need to get a good guidebook. I strongly recommend, the DK guides are expensive, but they're really pretty. They're just fine. I think Frommer's is a fine guide. It's a little boring. My personal favorite is Rick Steves'. I can't tell you how many hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars and thousands of hours of time I've saved by consulting Rick Steves' guidebooks. I think they're the best there are out there for frugal travelers like myself. What they really do is they save you lots of time and money, and that's important when you've saved up and you've got a limited amount of time on tour. So get a guidebook, read it, okay? It doesn't do much good sitting there on your shelf. Over the Christmas break, read your guidebook so that you are ready to see the things you want to see. When we get an hour or 2 hours of free time in Vienna or Salzburg, know where you want to go. Don't just kind of go, well, I don't know what I want to do, kind of looking up at the sky with your mouth open. Don't do that. Know exactly where you want to go. Make the most of your time. And if you don't educate yourself and read in advance, you've not made the most of your time. Okay, some cell phones thing. Again, you got to contact your cell phone company, find out exactly what kind of plan you have. If you need an overseas plan that's not going to cost a fortune, you need to figure out what that is. The European electrical outlet system is different from our own. Okay, we will have some electrical adapters and plugs and those kinds of things. Usually you can find a good international kit at Target or someplace like that, and you can just get like an all-in-one that'll have for Switzerland and Europe, continental Europe and London, England, that is, the UK. The outlets for Switzerland and Europe are different from each other, okay? So you want to make sure that you get plugs and adapters, because the currents are on different currents. We use a different current than they do over there, okay? So the little prongs are different, and the type of current is different. You can blow up and destroy your electrical item and if you don't do the right thing, okay? Memory cards, okay? Might ask for a couple of those for stocking stuffers if you need them. Spare batteries. I would definitely get a travel alarm clock, not just rely on your phone, because again, the phone, you never know at the end of the day that your phone battery may have gone dead, and overnight, there it is. It doesn't wake you up like you should be. Converters and adapters. In most of Europe, small appliances run on 220, not 110 like in the U.S. on the voltage. Go on down there to Walmart or Target and make sure that you get the right thing. Plastic bags. I'm a big believer in plastic grocery bags. Keep a couple of those tied together, and you keep your things discreet and in separate groups. Or bags that are like net or mesh bags are good, and Ziploc bags always are good as well. Always, 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 always bring a small, very lightweight, very collapsible umbrella or poncho. I'm not a poncho guy. I don't like ponchos. But make sure you've got a tiny, lightweight. The smaller and lighter, the better. You're not going to be in a hurricane over there. If it starts drizzling, you're not going to be out very long. Just enough to keep it off your head and shoulders, and you're just fine. But lightweight is cheapy is perfectly okay. Some additional help I think you ought to go and definitely check out Rick Steves' website. I'm a big fan. I have been for about 20 years now. I've gone all over the world with Rick right there with me in my backpack. And as a matter of fact, I've got a backpack luggage check bag that I got from his company probably 12 or 15 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. And it's an awesome thing. It's like a convertible backpack, big backpack / check bag. And sometimes I don't even check a bag. I just carry it on because I can do that. So I love all of his stuff. He's got a great section there where he's got lots of tips, especially for women, and what to pack and how to pack stuff and how to be efficient with it. All kinds of videos and things. And there's a great forum there where a lot of female travelers post their tips, and you can learn a lot from these ladies because they're really smart. They're people who've really been all over the globe, and they can give you some great advice. Independent Traveler is really good too. They got some great packing tips on Independent Traveler. And I'm a big fan of one bag, as in packing light. If you're going to get so tired of hearing me say this, but it's true. Pack light. Pack light. I've never heard anybody say, gee, I wish I'd packed a whole lot more heavy stuff. I never do. I always hear people say, you know what, half this stuff I never even used. Okay? And believe me, if you forget something, it's civilization. The Europeans have had cities longer than we have, okay? They've had pharmacies longer than we have. They've had shopping longer than we have. They're older than we are. You can pick up anything you need over there if you forgot. It's no crisis. We'll be right in the middle of some of the biggest cities in Europe. Easy to get. You just go to the front desk of the hotel and say, where do I pick up some toothpaste? Or, oh, I forgot my deodorant. Or, oh, I need another pair of socks. These have a hole in them. They'll tell you right where to go, and it's probably no more than 15 minutes away, okay? So you should not be worried about leaving things behind. You should be worried about, am I packing too much? This is going to get heavy. Am I going to have enough room to bring things back? Those are things that you'll pick up from one bag. I really love that site. I think it's a great site. You learn a lot from it. It'll inspire you. With your checked bag, you're going to put in most of your clothing, a second pair of shoes, most of your toiletries, and any liquids that are over 3 ounces. Remember, you can't go with a carry-on with 3 ounces, 3-ounce liquids, or more than 3-ounce liquids. Any sharp objects, your chargers, your batteries, the electronic stuff that you need is going to go in the checked bag, okay? And the copies of your important documents. Copies of your passport, debit, credit card should be in your checked bags, not in your carry-on or your neck wallet and stuff like that, okay? Make sure you leave room for other souvenirs. Again, the rule of thumb is about 35 pounds, generally speaking, is all they want you, and they have dimensions on the bag, depending on the air carrier, that are pretty tight. When we went to Spain, my wife and I and my daughter this past summer, those bag sizes have shrunk. And so we couldn't take one of the big bags that we had. Suddenly it's not usable for overseas. We had to go with a smaller one. So be very careful, measure, or they will ding you with $100 fee here or $50 fee there, okay? In your carry-on bag, you want to carry the passport, money, airline ticket, that kind of stuff. I'd put that in your neck wallet, frankly, but copy the itinerary. You want to bring toothpaste and toothbrush, because if we get stuck, right, you need to be able to freshen up a little bit. Hairbrush, your contact lenses, medication, at least one change of clothing, certainly undergarments and maybe a shirt, right? If you wear blue jeans over there and you've got to wear the same blue jeans for 48 hours because we got delayed, you're not going to be that uncomfortable, okay? But a change of shirt and undergarments and things like socks and stuff like that, and then be able to freshen up with your toiletries and stuff. Any of your over-counter medications, any of your valuables need to go not in your checked bag, obviously. Nothing. And by the way, don't bring grandma's antique, earrings. Don't do it. It's just not a good idea. Bad idea. Hand sanitizer, wipes, reading material. Bring some reading material, and bring a couple of snacks. You don't have to go overboard. You're going to eat all the time over there, but a couple of things that you like, stick them in the bag in case we get stuck someplace, and the only place to eat is someplace that's overpriced, right? You don't want to do that. Your camera and all that kind of stuff. So think about what you really need in your bag with you on your person if you were separated from your checked bag for a day or two. Okay, you can't put everything in your carry-on, but you got to make sure that you could make it for a couple of days with what's in your carry-on. And when you think about it, it's not a lot, but there are some critical things that you would need, okay? So that kind of sums it up. We're going to have some more discussion, and by the way, if you have access to Blackboard, then the class Blackboard site has all these documents and these things up. If you do not, and you're a guest of a student, they can easily download it, save it, and send it to you as an email attachment, or we'll be happy to do that too. If you need any help whatsoever in your planning, in your preparation, when you're thinking about safety and navigating through the airports and things like that, please do call us. You can email us at honors@tw.edu. You can call us at our office number, that's 940-898-2337, and we will be happy to help you. We're going to have some more information that's going to be coming at everybody here again and again and again. The fastest way to get information is to join our Travel Abroad Alps 2016 Facebook page. That is the fastest way, because we'll be posting things there as well. If you don't have a Facebook page, but you just want to have one for the purposes of this particular excursion, that's okay with us, okay? But that'll make sure that you can get the information as we post it, because it's a lot faster getting it out to everybody by Facebook than it is sometimes by Blackboard, because not everybody's taking the class. So that is what we have for you. What I would like for you to do is to, after having viewed all 3 of these videos, if you would do me a big favor, and I need everybody who has watched these videos to send us an email, honors@twu.edu, letting us know that you did review all of the safety information in these 3 videos and you got all of the information. If we don't get an email from you, we're going to end up hounding you, and you don't want that, right? So once you've listened to all 3 of these all the way through, send us that email saying, I got a chance to review all this material and looking forward to it, okay? Looking forward to seeing everybody on the tour. We're going to have a great tour, and if you have some questions, please call us. Thanks.